Pew 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 pew. Nailed it. Hello, welcome back to Captain Crash Gaming. This is Captain Crash 117 bringing you something really cool today. A solo run of the Grasp of Avarice. Now this is a dungeon that was brought apart as part of the 30th anniversary of Bungie. It has a lot of throwbacks to some other things that have happened in Destiny, and some of the other things that came out for the 30th have things to do with Halo, which is also pretty cool. But as we get started here, I'm going to give a little guide on how to do it, or at least what I did to do it on solo. It is a little bit easier than some of the other dungeons to do solo, in my opinion. Also note, I'm not doing this on the Master, just the regular Legendary Edition, or whatever the regular difficulty is called. And as you get started, what will happen is you'll come in this little area right here, where there's a fight between the Hive, and just a little bit of Fallen, but only Hive are going to be spawning in the spot after you kill all of those. Oh, but what you'll notice is the Hive will be spawning out of that little hole right in front of me, and when you kill them, they'll be dropping what looks like exotic engrams, except that they're not exotic engrams. When you grab them, you will get a debuff called Burdened by Riches, and it'll be multiplied by how many you pick up, and there is no limit to how many you can pick up, so you could theoretically sit here and kill these guys till you have Burdened of Riches times 500. Now what you're trying to do is get as many as you can and stand next to this little crystal thing, and it will take away those burden by riches. And what you want it to do is to take away 30 of them. So like you want to deposit 30 of these into that crystal, and guys will just keep spawning. You grab them and you can keep going. One cool thing that you'll notice is every stack of 10 that you get will recharge your super, which is really cool. So you can keep spamming your super if you really want to. And so like I said, we're trying to get to 30. You can do all 30 at once. Just, accumulate up to 30 and deposit them in there. You do it, one at a time if you really wanted to. One thing to note is that every time starting from the first time you pick one up, you'll get a 30-second timer. And when that 30-second timer gets to 0, it will just kill you. But the 30 seconds does restart anytime you pick up another Burden of Riches. Right, so like right now, and they also explode after a little bit, which will damage you and the bad guys, which is also pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, you just kill them, shoot them in here, and deposit them into that little crystal. Yeah, and another thing too is right here, after a while, 2 wizards spawn. And they will spawn periodically too, if you don't do this super quickly. They just kind of spawn here and there. So you go and grab those, kill a bunch of dudes. And then once you get to 30, you'll notice the floor will drop out from below you, and that'll unlock the next area. See, right here, you'll get the little respawn restricted, and then you'll drop down to these sweet little like crystal caves that are going on down here. There's some guy's little notes that I just picked up. It's like his journal about him being a pirate. You can collect all of those, although I will not be showing you on this run where they all are. But you can get them. So for right here, what you actually need to do is jump on the other side of this wall. So you can use this little crystal thing if you want to jump off of, so you can get over here. And then just kill a small group of guys to get to the other side again. There's nothing really too crazy here. There is a knight across the way who shoots at you. Probably the hardest thing to kill. But he's not really all that bad. There is this Shrieker here as well, so watch out for that. And then afterwards, you're going to jump down here. There's just a few more bad guys. And then, we'll be well on our way to the first actual encounter for the thing. I'll kill this little knight. Alright, here we go. Oh my god, still some dudes. All basic dudes. You're just making your way across. For some reason, there's a lot of them. Run, 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 run. Come over here. Jump down this chasm, and we'll be to the first puzzle. What you're going to want to do for these puzzles is do exactly what I do, because there's a lot of little platforms on the ground that'll lead you to immediately die. Alright, so there's 2 doors here. The one on the right, if you press the lever, it'll just kill you. This one, you will need to jump around. You can see the lever on the ground. If you step on it, it will kill you. I'll do a little montage of me dying after I get through the puzzle here in a second, just to show you all the different ways that you can die. Where I just looked at is our end goal, where we're trying to go. So this platform right here will fall when you land on it. And you want to jump over here and hit that one. And then jump over here. Don't hit this one. Just leave it. It'll kill you if you hit it. So just jump back across the way that you went. Now is where we're going to just jump up to where I was pointing at earlier. We're going to use these little platforms. If you jump in these tunnels, there'll be little platforms too that'll just kill you. So you want to go to this far one over here. This is the only one where when you step on it, or when you get really close to it anyways, it'll actually open up. So if you look over here, there's like the ceiling's not bright, and there's no and there's a little platform. If you stand on that platform, it'll just kill you. But this one's got like the gate opens up, so when you come up to it, boom, it just opens up. And now I'll do a little montage of me dying from the traps. And there you have it. There was all the traps killing you. Just remember not to stand on the platforms, and they won't kill you. There's some here too, like you saw me just almost hit one. And then these little panels right there drop out from underneath you, so you kind of have to run across. So here we have the next little puzzle. This puzzle's pretty easy. It basically just involves going across, hitting a lever, and then it'll open up a different area. This little area, you probably just saw right there. There's the little platform. If you stand on that, it'll kill you. I don't have a montage for these ones killing me this time, but just trust me, they'll kill you. So what you want to do is kill all these dudes so that you can go and press this lever right here. And what happens when you press this lever is it opens up the other side of the room. So in this case right here, which is the opposite side of what we just did. And then now there'll be one on this side that we can go jump over to, and we go and do the same thing. Again, watch out for the little platforms that will kill you. And just kill all the guys that are in here really quick. You don't have to. You could just run and hit the lever if you want to. I like to kill the dudes, but whatever works for you. So when you hit this lever, you'll see that side. Oh, and I guess one of them did get me. Let me fast forward to where I was just at. Alright, and we're back, hitting the lever, and you'll see one side closed and the other side open. We go into the final room, which is now across. Well, you actually have to hit the lever first. Oops. There we go. Make sure you press it. And then, yeah, this side will open, and then we can get to the last room. In the last room, there's going to be one thing for you to pull, and what that's going to do is open up, close that, and open up above you. Woo, right there. So you jump up there, and there'll be one little platform or one lever for you to pull here. Pull that, and what that does is it actually opens up a big hangar on the side of the entire thing. So if you look directly across, well, first there'll be a shrieker that spawns, which is just kind of annoying. What I like to do is reopen this side over here by pressing the lever so that I can get a good shot at the shrieker. Because otherwise he's kind of a pain to get to. But he's right there. He's kind of protecting the middle here. All closed. There we go. Let's get him out of here, huh? Okay, so now what opened up is that big bay right there. You can see that with the knight there. And when you get onto that side, there's literally just another lever for you to pull. And that'll open up an identical room on the other side, what's now behind me. So let's go pull that lever real quick. And, yeah, you just pull the lever. And then the other side opens up, and there's just a bunch of dudes over there. Now, you can just make yourself across by jumping through the other rooms and stuff. I just used Thunder Crash to fly over there. And once you get over here, there'll be two doors. There's this door and that left door. You want to activate the door that's in front, not the one that I just activated. I was just showing you that it is the one that will kill you. So instead, what you want to do is go through that one that's not to the left, the one that's right here in the front. And that's going to go on to the next puzzle. First, I'm going to show you how to get to the first sort of secret chest. It's not really super secret, it's just kind of hidden. But first, what I'm going to do is clear the room of wizards and the stupid little hive guys that are down there. There is a wizard there. So what we're going to do is jump over here to number 3, and then there's that little platform right there. Or, sorry, to number 4. There's that little platform right there. If you stay on that for too long, it'll drop out from underneath you, so be careful. and then just jump up here and grab the chest. I'd already gotten it previously, so I didn't get any loot, but you should get some loot out of it. And so now we can actually do this encounter. And what this is there's 4 rooms, all 1, 2, 3, 4, all labeled. And it starts at number 1, and there's just a little platform or a computer for you to activate. And when you activate it, you'll go directly across from you to number 3 and go inside that room and hit another computer switch. It is important to note that anytime you hit a computer switch, a wizard will spawn too. So watch out for that wizard. If you're trying to do a flawless run, that'll be the thing that gets you. But here it is, you hit that switch. And what that means is you actually run back across to number 1 and do the same thing that you just did there. You run in here, kill some dudes, make sure you kill the wizard, and just hit the computer switch. And then when you come out here, you'll go to your left to number 2. And it's just the same thing. But this time around, instead of hitting a computer switch, you're getting that guy. He's got the little cannon. You need to get that cannon from him, a little scorch cannon, and that'll introduce the second sort of mechanic that's going to be going on for the remainder of this dungeon, and that is using these scorch cannons to open doors. So when you go over here to number 4, you'll see a little, I don't know what you want, canister to the right of it. You need to shoot in it, not next to it like that, but actually in it. Hold down your trigger or your shoot button so that it'll charge. When it charges twice, you can let go, and then it'll open the door. If you don't let it charge or just shoot at it, it won't open. So yeah, there's that. And then here's another little trick thing. When you walk up here, you need to hide to the left or to the right because this thing rolls down and kills you. But here we are back for number 2. So just run forward. There's these little rooms here on the left and to the right. They're what you need to run into once it actually drops. Once you can get it to drop. Where is it? There it goes. Okay. It only does it once, so you don't have to worry about hurrying or anything, but just that once. And then run up here, and we commence the next part of just kind of traversing through the dungeon. Now, there's not really any puzzle or anything to this part. It's literally just traversing through. When you get here, just climb up on these little stacked crates up to this area, and then we're going to get ready to start our first actual boss encounter. A giant ogre with I can't think what his name is. We'll see what his name is when we get up there. He is kind of tough, more tedious than anything. Especially by yourself. But there he is. I went ahead and looked. His name is PHRY'ZHIA the INSATIABLE, which is a pretty cool name. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But let's go ahead and get this started. So right there, you'll notice the little deposit point for the Burden of Riches, which will drop anytime you kill Hive. Right now, what I'm doing is killing the Hive that were there on the left. They don't spawn on the outside anymore, so I just kill them out. Don't worry about the burdens that they drop. It's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter at all. And then you'll see the cannon from earlier back here. So now we're combining the cannon to open doors with getting the Burdens of Riches. So you'll see one on each side, that one and that one. One will be open and one will be closed. Obviously, you want to go through the one that's open, and the other one will open once this one blows up. So they alternate. And then inside is just a bunch of Hive with their Burdens of Riches. Now remember, anytime you get 10 Burdens of Riches, you get your super back. It just automatically recharges. So if you are using a better super than what I'm using, you can use that to clear this entire thing. And then once you grab 10, you get your super all the way back again, which is pretty awesome. Another thing to note is that the cannon despawns. So if you don't have it in your equipped for however long, it'll unspawn, and then the guys in the back, the fallen guys, will respawn, and they can be kind of a pain during the damage phase. So make sure you keep it with you at least during the damage phase, right before the damage phase, so that they're not there to hurt you. So you run over here and you deposit your hopefully more than 10 Burdens of Riches, because I believe it takes 25 to get into the damage phase. So once you deposit, realistically, you could just open the other side and do it all in one go. I like to play it safe, and I do one side at a time. But if you want to if you want to get 25 in one go and then stand down there, then that works too. I just play it safe. So then you just go to this other side, and use your super to clear it out as much as you can. And make sure to get enough riches to combine between the other one that you just did, that you have 25. Now, if you don't get 25, like say you get 24 and you go down there, you can literally just open the other side. You can open and close them as many times as you wanted. You could collect 100 of them in one go if you really wanted to. But it only takes 25 to get into the to do damage to him. Another thing, too, is he doesn't have a enraged version, so you can do as many rounds as you want to do. Like, you don't have to kill him in 3 or 4. Like, you could take 10. I think I took 6, which is pretty cool. So when you're doing it solo, and if you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough damage, just know that you can take as many rounds as you want, which is what I was talking about earlier with him being kind of tedious. But see, I've got the cannon with me for right now, and I'm about to do the damage phase, so I'm going to drop it right here, so that when it does despawn, or during the damage phase, it doesn't, if it despawns, it's whatever. I just don't want the guy shooting at me with it. So once all of them are deposited, there's a big explosion like that happens, and then in a second, it'll say that the Insatiable has succumbed to temptation, and that's the damage phase. So what I do is I use my super, and then I jump up here into this corner here, and I kind of use it to kind of go back and forth. I use a linear fusion rifle to deal damage. It just works pretty well. If you have a better option, use a better option, but it's the one that I like. Yeah. Try to get the headshots, because obviously those do a lot more damage, and the damage phase actually doesn't last that long. Like, look, it's already over, and I didn't really manage to do all that much health to him. But it's okay, because it just starts over again. So what happened is the Scorch Cannon despawned, but then it just drops off another guy with the Scorch Cannon. So if it does despawn, no big deal. But yeah, like, he sits over there and shoots at you, though. So that's why I like to keep it with me for the damage phase, so that he's not shooting at you during the damage phase. You don't have to worry about 2 people dealing damage. And then basically we just do it all again. So I'll walk it through one more time. And like I said, I did have to do this 6 times. So after the second time, the second damage phase, I am just going to fast forward until the last damage phase, so that you don't have to watch all of the in between, because it's literally the same thing. It's me running over here, these guys spawning, killing them, and then using the Scorch Cannon so that I can get to the first side. Yeah, kill all the guys. Hopefully you can get, I think you want to get at least 12 or 11. I think you want to get at least 11, because you can get 14 on any one side. So if you get 11 on one side, you can get 14 on the other side, and it's not a big deal. So as long as you get at least 11 on one side, you can get 14 on the other. Obviously, getting 14 would be preferable, but you can do whatever. The Knights also drop 3, which is pretty cool. They're also paying to kill, so kind of prioritize them, I suppose. Once they're dead, you get 6 from them, which is pretty nice. And then if you do it right, you should only have to do each side 1 time. So I'm on this side, and I'm about to run over to go, well, I got 13, nice. The thing despawned, okay. So I got 13 this time around, which means I only need to get 12 out of the other side. So that makes things nice and easy. I'm depositing those right now. Again, you could probably just open the other side of the door and go for a full 25 right off. I like to play it safe. But yeah, whatever. I gotta get the Scorch Cannon real quick, because every time it despawns, it spawns a new one of those guys. So here we got it, opening up this side. And then I got my super this time, so... Oh, wow, I suck. Okay. Explode. Oh, no, it's just a little jammed. Okay. Use my super, go in there, hopefully clear out as many dudes as we can using the super. There are better options for supers. Even well isn't a bad option if you're running Warlock, especially during the damage phase. You can just stand there in the well. I'm a Thunder Crash guy myself. I mean, after all, my name is Captain Crash. But yeah, so once you get, I think I got 12 on the other side, so I need to get 13 on this side, right? Yeah, something like that. I got the cannon, so it doesn't spawn, and then we're gonna go do the damage phase. Oh, look, there's 14. Boom. Oh, where the hell did the... Oh, it didn't go anywhere. Whatever, I have enough to do the damage phase, so we're going to go ahead and do one more. So stand behind here so that he can't see you, and try to kill the thralls. They're kind of annoying. They're super easy to take care of, just kind of annoying. And then once you have all of the riches in, it'll say that he's succumbed to temptation, and there's the damage phase again. Now, like I said, I'm only going to show you 2 damage phases because it takes me like 6, and I'm going to go ahead and cut to the last one. See you there. Alright, and here we are starting the final damage phase. Everything went exactly the same, just multiple rounds of putting in 25 riches, doing a damage phase, and then doing it all over again. And then once you get them, you'll get a sweet little chest to do, it's got the loot that you need from it, which is pretty sweet. So here he is, and he's dead. There we go. Now the armor set from this is pretty good, and the chests drop like out of this one. There's the chest. That's where it drops. I can't remember what they're called. Descending Echo. That's what they're called. Descending Echo Greaves in this case. There's also, the rest of the set. They're pretty cool looking. But now we're going to be on to another part of just transversing through the dungeon that they built. I will have bookmarks for everything on here, so if you want to just skip ahead to the next one, feel free to go ahead and do that. Or follow me along as we get to the next part of this pretty decent dungeon. I like it a lot. Also, I do apologize for if I sound a little off. I am recovering from a cold. I'm still a little congested. But it's actually just a short walk over here to the next part that we have to do. Now, it is just a Sparrow Run. So pull out your No Time to Explain. If you have it, it's not necessary, but it definitely helps. And basically, you just open the door, and you you try to get to that mine up there, as quickly as you can, and don't really stop, but try to drive by those little circles that you saw me driving by. They add seconds to your time for defusing the mine, and defusing the mine actually happens pretty quick, so you just kind of have to drive straight through it. Slow down a little bit, but other than that, there it is, that little thing I just drove by. That adds time to the timer of the bomb. If you let the timer get all the way down, it'll blow up and you just have to restart the encounter. But there they are. That's what they look like. Those add time to yours. And you just try to get from to each of them as quickly as you can. And periodically, because of the dude shooting at you, you'll have to change out which ones you are so that they don't explode on you. Because if they explode on you, you die. There is one that extends at the end of that tunnel. And also up here, there's one in the eye socket of this skull that we have to fly through, which is pretty cool. So I aim for the left one and not the right one. I also stop accelerating when I go through. I'll stop holding the left trigger. That way you make it through. And right there is a time extension, which is pretty cool. So if you're running really low, just know that you can... There is a time extension right there at the very end. And now after you kill these guys, it's time to get secret chest number 2, which is in the opposite eye of what we just flew through of this skull right here. It has a little face, a little skull guy going on. Yay, and on to the second secret chest, which is right here. And then we're just going to progress to the second to last of the encounters for the entire dungeon. Alright, and when you get to the end here, this will be the start of this encounter, taking down the fallen shield. So this goes back to using the Scorch Cannon, but this time you're using the Scorch Cannon to launch yourself. So there's these little launchers, and connected to them are these little things right there, and obviously when you shoot those, it'll turn off the launcher. What you'll notice is for this run, I'm holding it down to get them to explode, but you actually don't have to do that. You only have to shoot them once without holding the trigger down to get it to explode. I didn't know that until after this. So you can also rotate it to go which directions that you want to go. Doesn't really matter too much. Right now what we're trying to do is get all the way to the end. So there's like 4 little islands that we have to hop to. We have to use these to jump across. And when we release it, yeah, there we go. We fly across. And then there's these little islands that we'll have to come back to later. Basically, each island has a guy with the scorch cannon, a section to put your burdens of riches. You can see it right there. They all have these little shelters that all have a place to put the burdens of riches on them. But we'll get to that here in a second. So what I do is I stick to the left path. I make sure all the cannons launch to the left. That way when I get all the way to the end in just a few of these. Some of them you can jump to if you really want to, or sword skate if you're really good at that. But what we're trying to do is get to the back where there's a Servitor with a shield on it. There's only one of these pads. All the way in the back will have a Servitor with a shield on it. He's right there. I'm pointing right at him. So I got to go to there and then over to the next one. And once you get over there to them, basically what's going to happen is there's going to be a bunch of fallen who, when you kill them, they will drop the burdens of riches. And then you deposit those burdens of riches. I want to say it's 20 burdens of riches into the center area. This little like hut where there's the little like crystal right there. The crystals to put them in there. And then when you get 20 of them, it'll take the shield off of that servitor. So the whole point is to try to kill that servitor. So first we got to collect our burden by riches by killing 10 or so of these guys. It's relatively easy. The only hard guy that shows up is there's a big hell fallen knight guy. He can shoot you up a bunch, but other than that, it's relatively simple. Just stay in cover and shoot these guys. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm killing a bunch of dudes so I can get the burdens by riches, and here I am putting in, I think 11 of them is what I got at this point, and then I gotta go and get 10 more. And like I was saying, once you have those 10, you get your super back. So like I just used my super. Better crowd wiping supers are better to use than Thunder Crash, but I like Thunder Crash, so. But there you have it. Once those are all put in there, his shield is off, so you can go ahead and kill him. And what he's going to leave behind is like the body of the Servitor, and you have to push it. This one's actually kind of just falling towards it. You have to push it to the launcher, the things that we use to get over here, and you have to launch them at the center. What I'm doing right now is actually I have burdens of riches, and they'll kill you after 30 seconds. But even though you've already filled up the thing in the center with burdens, you can still deposit old ones into there to get rid of the buff. So that's what I was doing right there. So this one rolled towards it. Sometimes you have to push it towards where you want to go, but right there is where it's going to fly at, and you have to get it to fly at this little like hot air balloon base that's over there. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and launch it. And like I said before, you can actually just shoot it. You don't have to charge it on this one. That's my bad. But yeah. And then once it goes, it's going to launch him off. He's going to destroy like a little metal thing. Here in a second, it'll actually work. There it goes. Woo! And you have to do that. It'll take a chunk out of the health of the fallen shield. And then just another island will summon a servitor. And you just have to do the same thing over again. Yeah, so just find which one has the servitor on it, rotate your cannons to get over there the best way. Sometimes it's not next to it, sometimes it's a few away, so you just have to travel around to find it. But here we go, we're going to go ahead and do the exact same thing we just did. Yep, so flying on over here, killing a bunch of dudes, getting their burdens, and then depositing said burdens into the area. And you have to do this, I think, 4 times total, and then you'll be able to fly to the top. So I'm just going to fast forward through all these. I'll actually skip to the end. You've seen exactly how it is. Yeah, so once you have them all deposited, you push the stupid servitor's body over to the launcher, and then launch it towards the center. So here we go. We got another one. So this one, I think I actually have to push it. Yeah, see how it's just kind of like rolling around. You have to actually push it. It doesn't roll the best. Like, it doesn't want to follow you. It does its own kind of thing. So you have to push it over to the launcher, and then Yeah, there it goes. Ooh. It is a little like drawn towards it, which is pretty helpful. But don't forget to make sure the launcher is aimed at the little hot air balloon thing that's at the center. You don't want to launch it like to the left or to the right. You want to launch it towards the thing. So once it's there, it'll kind of stay too. It kind of like rolls to it and stays. It's kind of nice. And then you launch it, and boom, it'll go destroy another node on that little balloon in the center. Defense, the fallen shield will go a little bit less, and then it's just, again, there's going to be another island where a servitor spawns, and then you get the riches, and you go and kill them. But here we are on the last one. There was another one before this, so it was 2 more times after that, and this is the last one. Nothing too crazy happens when you blow it up. Just, again, make sure that the launcher is aimed at the building that you're trying to tear down the shield. There's a little shield stopping you from flying up there. You can see right there, a little, like, force shield. And it'll get destroyed on this last one. Boom, there it goes. It'll fly up and destroy that, and then the force shield will fade away. And then what you need to do is go to the center island right below the, like, basically the big balloon right there. So you should be able to just launch yourself in the same direction that you just launched the bomb. And there'll be a chest over there for you to pick up, too, for completing this encounter. It's right up over there. There's the chest. And then what we're going to do is use a launcher to launch yourself straight up into where the shield just got destroyed. Now, this, in my opinion, is the easiest of the encounters. So hopefully you didn't have too hard of a time. But yeah, what we're going to do is launch ourselves straight up into this thing. Whee! And then you just kind of fly over. And now we are going to move on to the boss room, the very final encounter for this whole thing. And again, it'll combine the 2 things of using the cannon as well as Burdened by Riches in order to do the next part. Let's go rally and we'll get started on that. All right. And so what you'll notice here is the whole room is separated into like 3 sections. There's like a left, a right, and a front. And then the center here obviously being where the boss starts. So the boss starts when you get too close to like a little burden of riches. It's on the ground right there. There he is right there. Captain Arvok the Covetous. So what I do is I come up here and I hide. It's a nice place to hide, clear out a little bit of ads. They do just constantly respawn, so it's not too bad. That guy right there is the rocket launcher guy, the guy with the cannon that we're going to need to use. An interesting thing about this one is if you kill the guy, his cannon won't despawn until after you've picked it up, and then if you drop it, it'll despawn. So there he is right there. We're going to kill him, and we're just going to leave the Scorch Cannon right there so that we can use it later. So every time... so at the beginning and every time after the damage phase, he'll summon 2 dudes. There's this little sniper guy up here. Yeah, he's kind of super annoying. And then down by him is an invisible other little fallen guy that you don't have to kill him, I suppose, if you don't want to, but they will kill you. Like they're pretty tough. So what I do is I spend the time to kill them every single time. They are a little bit tanky, so it does take a hot minute to kill them. The boss will throw those little grenades at you this whole time that like slow you down. They're super annoying. But yeah, eventually you'll just have to kill this guy right here. He's just a little sniper shank. He's super annoying. And then we'll move on to the invisible guy. And he's down there somewhere. He is kind of hard to track at first. Where's he at? There he is. Boom. Nope. No, there he is. Okay. Yeah, and he's just got like a little cannon and he shoots at you. An interesting thing is the sniper shank doesn't drop burdens of riches, but this guy does. When you kill him, he drops exactly 10 burdens of riches, and you need 60 in order to go into the damage phase. So I like to pick up the 10 that he gets and just immediately deposit them. You don't have to, obviously, but I mean, it gets you a little head start because you have to get 60 for each damage phase, which is kind of annoying, but it works. So yeah, once he's dead, you can go grab the Burdens of Riches. Here's the place where you stop it right in the middle. Try to work around the boss and not die to do all 10. And then what we're going to do is you're going to pick a side to start on. Doesn't really matter. You can do the lower or the front area or the left or the right. I like to do the left or the right. The middle one seems to summon a lot more dudes. And you'll notice this little thing here. And what you have to let it charge this time around. You can't just shoot it. and then these carts will like go up, and they will drop 5 each of the Burdens of Riches on each side. So just because I shot it on this side, all the other sides drop it too. So you can see down there at the center, and also the other side has them. Now, you can't really go fast enough to get all 30, but if you do it right, you can get 20 in one go. Sometimes you might have to play it safe and just do 10. That's fine. Either way, you're trying to get to 60. So we're going to go and deposit these 20 that I just picked up, and then you're going to choose another side that's not the side that you were just on, because that side closes. Once you use it, it closes up. But then once you use a different one, it'll open back up. So you can kind of alternate between the left and the right if you want to do it that way, which is how I do it. So once you've cleared the area, there's the little thing. I don't even know what you would call that, little generator. And then it'll drop. You just use that to drop 20. Well, 30 more riches drop, but you can only really pick up 20 or so. And yep, here we go. Got the Scorch Cannon. We're going to go and shoot it. And this is basically how the entire encounter goes. There's not anything else thrown at you at all, really. It's just get these burdens. Guys constantly spawn here on all 3 of the platforms that they go. And if you're a little too slow, like I was just there, I end up, or if they drop in like confusing places, I often opt to just get 10. You can do it however you want, though. So right there, I got I got 11, but whatever. Yeah, sometimes they don't fall in the water. The water will kill you. If you step one toe in the water, it'll kill you. But yeah, just don't worry about it. If you end up getting 10, you end up getting 10. It's not a big deal, because you can always just go drop more Burdens of Riches. There's not a limit to the amount of rounds that you can do. You could do 56 rounds if you really wanted to. Yeah, there's no limit at all. The boss doesn't go into an enraged status and end the encounter. There's no wiping mechanic or anything like that. So as long as you stay alive and you can just keep getting riches, you can just do it endlessly over and over again. I think I have to do it 4 or 5 rounds just because I'm by myself, can't do enough damage. And just like with the Ogre, like the damage phase just really isn't that long. But we'll get to that here in the first damage phase here in a second. Yeah, and so like I said, you need 60 to get the encounter or the damage phase started, and that should be right now I have enough that should be right at 60. So I'm gonna go deposit these real quick, and then I'm gonna clear out some of the ads, just because during the damage phase they sit there and they throw grenades at you and do all sorts of nonsense. But here we go. We're gonna go ahead and get the damage phase started. You don't need the cannon for the damage phase. I'm just carrying it to stop it from despawning. There'll be a big explosion on the crystal, indicating that it's the next phase. Boom, like that. And then he's going to teleport right up there. And you can't damage him yet. I got lucky there. Give it a second before you can damage him. And then I hide in the back here so that none of the other guys can see you. And you just unload. Again, I'm using a linear fusion rifle to do my damage phase. Yeah, just back here, it's just the boss. You can kind of duck, dive, duck, dodge, and duck, to just kind of stop him from hurting you. And eventually, he will enter back into his I'm protected mode. And when he does that, the stupid Shank sniper and the invisible guy will spawn again at the center. So we're going to go ahead and kill them again. It is kind of annoying that they spawn every time, because they are just so tanky. But it's not too big a deal, honestly. I'm only going to show you 2 rounds of the damage phase, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put it towards the last damage phase, so that you don't have to watch the 2 or 3 that are in between it, because it is literally just the same exact thing. I'll go ahead and walk through one more time exactly what we're doing here, and then we should be good to go. So now that that guy's dead, he drops 10 burdens, which you can go ahead and grab. Or not. I'll run back around and grab them. Yeah, so he drops 10, which is a nice little boost. I immediately like to drop those 10 off, so I'm not worrying about the timer. I don't necessarily care enough to get all 60. Like, just drop 10 at a time if you really have to. So then again, you just choose a side. Some ads spawn. They're not the hardest ads in the world to beat, as you can see. On the harder difficulty, they're a little bit more annoying. Maybe I'll make a video on doing it on the hard mode later, but for right now, we're just doing it on the regular mode. So once you get that, these things open up, and they drop off the burdens. Sometimes like the burdens will be like all the way in the back like this, and so then I will only do 10. Right, you know, like this phase around, I only do 10. Just because I don't feel like risking it, like running after them. The burdens do explode and they will kill you if when they explode. So if your timing's not going to be good enough and you're going to be like on top of one as it explodes, it's better to just deliver the 10. And then you just go over to the other side and do it again. And of course, you could go down to the center island if you wanted to as well. I just don't. It's safer up here, more things to hide behind, less ads. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward a little bit so we're not just watching a bunch of nonsense. But yeah, so here we are. We got 10. I think this time around, yep, we're going to go ahead and get 20. And then we only need 20 more, which is one more round of doing it. And it'll be on to the second damage phase. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. All right, here we go. And... oh, I messed that up. Here we go. Oh, man, my aim today. There we go. All right, so we're going to get these 10. And then I'm just going to do one more final round of getting 10. Because, yeah, if they just drop weird, I don't like to, again, I don't like to risk it. Like, you can always just drop more. There's no limit to how many you could drop. So we're just going to do this one real quick. And then that will be on to the second damage phase. For all of the damage phases, I do exactly the same thing. I sit there, see how he's still immune. He'll like raise his arms up or something. It'll say he's succumbed to the temptation, and then that's when I use my super. Well here would work a lot better if you're a warlock. You know, any other super probably than Thunder Crash. But again, I like Thunder Crash. And this is our second damage phase. Using the linear, just shooting him. Use whatever you got, really. Does not matter that much. Just remember that at the end of every damage phase, those stupid Shanks and Invisible Guy spawn, and I'll see you at the end. And here we are, all the way at the end. You can see I got him down to like just a little bit of health on that last damage phase, so I had to do a whole other damage phase. I'm on the last 10 Burdens of Riches that I need, so I'm going to go ahead and grab these last 10, go deposit them, and then I'm going to start the final damage phase on the boss. Now, this took me probably like 5 hours of gameplay, a lot of deaths to film. So if you like this, leave a comment down below what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see in the future. Help me out a little bit. Also, hit that like and subscribe if you love Destiny and want to see more Destiny 2 content. I appreciate you guys watching so much. Thank you so much for taking your time to watch.